$7, a car, and a dream. That's all he had in his pocket when he was cut from the Calgary Stampeders in 1995. Today, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson commands $50 million per movie, owns a tequila brand worth billions, and has built an empire that's left Hollywood stunned. But how exactly did a failed football player with depression and $7 to his name transform into one of the most powerful men in entertainment? To understand the empire, we need to understand the man. And to understand the man, we need to go back to the beginning. The story of Dwayne Johnson begins long before he was born, in a wrestling dynasty that stretched from Hawaii to Nova Scotia. His grandfather, Peter "High Chief" Maivia, wasn't just a legendary wrestler, he was an actual Samoan chief who even appeared in the 1967 James Bond film, You Only Live Twice. His father, Rocky Johnson, made history alongside Tony Atlas as the first black tag team champions in WWE. Wrestling wasn't just a career for the Johnson family, it was their legacy, their bloodline, their destiny. But destiny doesn't pay the bills. And for young Dwayne, childhood meant one thing above all else: instability. By the time I was 13, we had lived in 38 different states. I was always the new kid, which meant I was either going to get my ass kicked or become the one doing the ass kicking. The Johnson family bounced from city to city, following Rocky's wrestling career. Eviction notices were as common as birthday cards. Money was tight, so tight that sometimes they couldn't afford Christmas presents. By 17, Dwayne had been arrested multiple times for fighting, theft, and check fraud. His future looked bleak, until a high school football coach named Jody Quick saw potential, where others saw only trouble. Coach Quick was the first man who told me not what I wanted to hear, but what I needed to hear. He said I could use my physicality for something besides fighting. I could channel it into sports. Johnson earned a full scholarship to the University of Miami, playing alongside future NFL stars like Warren Sapp on the 1991 national championship team. But while his teammates were destined for NFL glory, Johnson mostly rode the bench. His college stats were unremarkable, just 77 tackles and 4.3 sacks across 4 years. Then came the crushing blow, a devastating shoulder injury in his senior year that effectively ended his football dreams. But something more profound was happening. Johnson was developing the mental toughness that would later define his career. He was learning how to fail and how to get back up. After graduation, against all odds, Johnson signed with the Calgary Stampeders of the Canadian Football League. His dream of professional football was alive, but only briefly. Just 2 days into training camp, head coach Wally Buono called him into his office. I'll never forget what he said to me: "I'm gonna cut you, not because you're not good enough, but because I don't think your heart's in it." Sent home with nothing but a garbage bag of clothes and $7 in his pocket, Johnson faced the darkest moment of his life. The number was so insignificant yet so profound that years later, he would name his production company $7 Productions as a reminder of how far he'd come. Back at his parents' small apartment in Tampa, Florida, the 23-year-old sank into a depression so deep he didn't even recognize it as depression. "I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't know what it was. I just knew I didn't want to be around people. I was crying constantly." That's when his father, Rocky Johnson, gave him advice that would change everything. You need to get back up and you need to keep going forward. With no other options, Dwayne turned to the family business, wrestling. But even this path wasn't smooth. Through a family connection, he got a tryout match with the WWE, then WWF. His debut in 1996 as Rocky Maivia, a name that honored both his father and grandfather, was supposed to be triumphant. Instead, it was a disaster. The crowd rejected him immediately. Despite being pushed as a babyface, good guy, audiences found his character bland and inauthentic. Chants of "Rocky sucks" and "Die Rocky die" echoed through arenas night after night. It was the most embarrassing and humbling time of my life. Here I am, trying to honor my family legacy, and 20,000 people are chanting for me to die. Then fate intervened again. In early 1997, Johnson suffered a knee injury that sidelined him for months. During this forced break, he had an epiphany: if fans wanted to hate him, why not give them a reason? When he returned, gone was the smiling, eager-to-please Rocky Maivia. In his place stood The Rock, arrogant, third-person speaking, eyebrow-raising, and unapologetically himself. He joined the villainous Nation of Domination stable, and started delivering electrifying promos that captivated audiences. I realized the most powerful thing I could do was just be myself, but with the volume turned all the way up, the transformation was immediate and stunning. Within months, The Rock was the most charismatic performer in professional wrestling. By 1998, despite still technically being a villain, crowds were cheering for him. By 1999, he was WWE's top star alongside Stone Cold Steve Austin, selling out arenas worldwide and breaking merchandise records. But Johnson wanted more. Hollywood was calling. His first role came in 2001's The Mummy Returns, where he played the Scorpion King in a brief but memorable appearance. The studio paid him $5.5 million, a record for a first-time actor. The following year, he starred in the spin-off The Scorpion King, earning another $5.5 million, but then came what insiders call the wilderness years. From 2003 to 2010, Johnson starred in a series of forgettable films like Walking Tall, Doom, and The Game Plan. Critics were harsh. Box office returns were modest. The transition from wrestling superstar to legitimate Hollywood actor seemed to be failing. I was being forced into a box. Hollywood didn't know what to do with me. They wanted me to be the next Arnold, but I knew I had to forge my own path. Behind the scenes, Johnson was making crucial changes. He fired his agents. He dropped the Rock moniker to be billed simply as Dwayne Johnson. Most importantly, he started turning down roles that didn't feel authentic to him. The turning point came in 2011 when he joined the Fast and Furious franchise for its fifth installment. His character, Luke Hobbs, was originally written for an older, white actor like Tommy Lee Jones. Johnson made it his own, and the film grossed over $626 million worldwide, significantly more than previous entries in the series. Johnson had found his formula: join existing franchises and make them bigger. Hollywood executives took notice, dubbing him Franchise Viagra. He revitalized G.I. Joe and Journey to the Center of the Earth series, then launched new ones like San Andreas and Rampage. By 2016, Johnson was the highest-paid actor in Hollywood. By 2020, he had held that title for 5 consecutive years. His films have grossed over $12.5 billion worldwide, making him one of the most bankable stars in cinema history. But here's what most people don't understand about Dwayne Johnson. Acting was never the end game. It was merely a platform to build something much bigger. In 2012, Johnson and his ex-wife Dani Garcia formed 7 Bucks Productions. Unlike most celebrity production companies, 7 Bucks wasn't a vanity project. It was a strategic business move that gave Johnson more control over his career and a larger share of profits. Every time I step on a set, I'm not just thinking as an actor. I'm thinking as a producer, a marketer, a businessman. How does this project advance the larger goal? That larger goal? Building a multifaceted business empire that would transcend any single industry. And at the center of it all was the careful cultivation of the Rock brand. Johnson's social media strategy revolutionized how celebrities connect with fans. While most stars used platforms like Instagram for glamorous photo ops, Johnson turned his into a direct line to his audience. He shared his workouts, his meals, his family moments, and his failures, creating an unprecedented level of intimacy with his 397 million followers. I spend hours on my phone crafting these posts. People think I have a social media team. I don't. That's all me, because authenticity can't be outsourced. This authenticity paid dividends. By 2017, Johnson could command an additional $4 million per film just for promoting it on his social media accounts. Brands lined up to partner with him, knowing his endorsement carried more weight than traditional advertising. In 2016, Johnson partnered with Under Armour to create Project Rock, a fitness apparel and footwear line that consistently sells out within hours of release. The partnership reportedly earns him $25 million annually, about half the salary of a major film role, without the months of grueling shooting. Then in 2019, Johnson made his most ambitious business move yet, launching Teremana Tequila. Unlike celebrities who merely license their names to spirits brands, Johnson co-founded and co-owns Teremana, giving him a substantial equity stake estimated between 30 to 40%. The timing was perfect. The premium tequila market was booming, with George Clooney's Casamigos having recently sold to Diageo for $1 billion, but Johnson wasn't content to simply follow the celebrity spirits playbook. We could have taken shortcuts. We could have sourced our tequila from existing distilleries. Instead, we built our own distillery from the ground up in Jalisco, Mexico. We wanted complete control over quality. That commitment to quality paid off. Teremana broke records by selling 300,000 9-liter cases in its first year, the fastest launch in spirits history. By 2023, it was selling over 1 million cases annually. Industry analysts now value the brand at approximately $2 billion, with Johnson's personal stake worth between $600 to $800 million. If that seems impressive, consider that Johnson achieved this while simultaneously filming multiple blockbusters, running his production company, expanding his Under Armour line, and raising 3 daughters. How does he do it all? The answer lies in his legendary work ethic and discipline. Johnson wakes up at 3:30 a.m. every day, giving him hours of productivity before most people's alarms even sound. He sleeps just 3 to 5 hours nightly, claiming his body has adapted to the limited rest. His workout regimen is equally extreme. He trains 2 to 3 hours daily, 6 days a week, in gyms he calls Iron Paradise. When filming on location, Johnson travels with 40,000 pounds of exercise equipment in custom-built trailers, an operation that costs 6 figures to maintain. His diet is just as regimented. Johnson consumes between 5,000 to 8,000 calories daily across 5 to 7 meals. For years, his signature was consuming 36 ounces of cod daily, more than a third of a ton of fish annually. These days, he's switched to leaner proteins but still maintains strict macro counts. The only exception, his legendary cheat meals. Sunday feasts where he indulges in everything from stacks of pancakes to multiple pizzas and piles of sushi, often exceeding 6,000 calories in a single sitting. The cheat meals keep me sane. They're my reward system. I know if I stay disciplined 6 days a week, I get to eat whatever I want on day 7. This discipline extends beyond fitness. Johnson approaches business with the same methodical intensity. Every project must align with his larger brand values of hard work, authenticity, and positivity. He's notorious for being the first to arrive on set and the last to leave, often putting in 12-14-hour days. His personal life, however, has required more balance. Johnson married his college sweetheart Dani Garcia in 1997, and they had a daughter, Simone, before divorcing in 2007. Unlike many Hollywood splits, they maintain not just an amicable relationship, but a business partnership that continues to this day, with Garcia serving as his manager and co-founder of 7 Bucks Production. In 2019, Johnson married singer Lauren Hashian, with whom he has 2 more daughters, Jasmine and Tiana. Fatherhood has been a transformative experience for Johnson, who often speaks about wanting to be a more present father than his own dad was. When I was a kid, my dad was working 3 jobs. He was rarely home. I understood it, but I missed him. With my daughters, I want to be there for every moment I can. This desire for family time might seem at odds with his grueling work schedule, but Johnson has found ways to integrate the two. His daughters regularly visit his sets. He blocks out specific daddy time in his calendar that's non-negotiable, and he's been known to take family-friendly roles specifically so his children can see his work. The results of Johnson's disciplined approach speak for themselves. His net worth in 2025 stands at approximately $800 million, putting him within striking distance of billionaire status, a milestone few entertainers have ever achieved. His real estate portfolio alone is worth over $70 million, including a $27.8 million Beverly Hills mansion formerly owned by Alex Van Halen, a $12 million Virginia horse farm sprawling across 180 acres, and a $9.5 million Georgia estate. He also maintains multiple properties in Florida and has purchased homes for family members, including a $3.5 million residence for his mother. His automotive collection includes some of the world's most exclusive vehicles, a Ferrari LaFerrari from a limited run of just 25 cars, worth $3.4 million, a $2.6 million Pagani Huayra, and a $450,000 Ford GT. Ironically, at 6'5", Johnson barely fits in many of these supercars. Perhaps his most extravagant assets are his private jets, a Gulfstream G650 and a Bombardier Global 7500, collectively worth over $137 million. The annual operating costs alone run into the millions. All of this luxury serves a purpose beyond mere indulgence. It's both a reward for his relentless work ethic and a tool that enables his productivity. The private jets allow him to maintain his packed schedule while minimizing time away from family. The home gyms ensure he never misses a workout, regardless of location. Even the cheat meals fuel his motivation during grueling training sessions. But Johnson's empire building isn't just about accumulating wealth. In recent years, he's expanded into strategic investments designed to build long-term value. In 2020, Johnson, along with his ex-wife Dani Garcia and Redbird Capital Partners, purchased the XFL Football League for $15 million. The move raised eyebrows. The league had already failed twice before, and it lost $60 million in its first year under their ownership. This isn't about quick returns. It's a legacy play, a long game. I believe in the XFL's potential to give players another path to professional football. In 2024, Johnson joined the WWE's parent company TKO Group Holdings as a board member, receiving $30 million in stock as a part of the deal. The arrangement also gave him full ownership of the Rock trademark, a significant victory in an industry where performers rarely control their character names. In January 2024, he made headlines by purchasing additional TKO stock worth $15 million, increasing his total shares by 50%. By June 2025, those shares had already appreciated by 450%. Even more ambitious are his future plans. Johnson has several films in development, including his first dramatic role in A24's The Smashing Machine, the live-action adaptation of Disney's Moana, and a Martin Scorsese-directed Hawaiian crime drama alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Emily Blunt. There's also persistent speculation about political ambitions. In multiple interviews, Johnson has acknowledged considering a presidential run. A 2021 poll found 46% of Americans would support his candidacy. If the people want it, then I'll consider it. Public service has always been important to me. Whether he enters politics or not, Johnson's trajectory shows no signs of slowing. With Teremana Tequila's continued growth, his expanding media empire, and strategic investments, achieving billionaire status seems inevitable within the next 2-3 years. What makes Johnson's story so compelling isn't just the rags-to-riches narrative, but the strategic brilliance behind it. At every crossroads, he's made decisions that maximize both immediate returns and long-term potential. When wrestling fans rejected his initial character, he didn't quit. He pivoted and created an iconic persona. When early Hollywood roles typecast him, he didn't complain. He leveraged his popularity to gain more control. When he achieved acting success, he didn't rest. He built a production company to own more of the value chain. Each step has been calculated, each move strategic. Even his social media presence, which feels spontaneous and authentic, is carefully crafted to build his brand and create marketing leverage. Perhaps most remarkably, Johnson has accomplished all this while maintaining his reputation as one of the nicest people in Hollywood. Crew members consistently praise his professionalism and kindness. Co-stars describe his generosity and work ethic. Even in an industry known for massive egos, Johnson stands out for his humility and appreciation. I never forget that $7 moment. Never. It keeps me grounded. It reminds me that all of this could disappear, so I better work my ass off every single day to make sure it doesn't. From the darkness of depression and failure to the heights of global stardom and business success, Dwayne Johnson's journey embodies the ultimate American dream. But unlike many success stories that rely on lucky breaks or overnight sensations, Johnson's empire has been built methodically, brick by brick, over decades of strategic planning and relentless effort. The Rock may have been born in a wrestling ring, but Dwayne Johnson built his dynasty in boardrooms, on movie sets, and through the kind of discipline few can maintain. His blueprint for success, authenticity, strategic thinking, and unmatched work ethic has created not just wealth but something far more valuable, a legacy that will endure long after his final scene or business deal. In the end, the secret to Johnson's success might be simpler than it appears. As he often says, it's about being the hardest worker in the room. From those $7 to a near billion-dollar empire, he's never stopped working, and the world has never stopped watching.